Hello and welcome. My name is Robert Rorison, or Rory to all those that already know me, and I work for LEEA within the member engagement team. So in the next 5 minutes or so, I'm going to talk to you about the conduct of LEEA compliance audits. What I do is provide audits to our members to ensure that they're fulfilling the requirements of the association in order to remain compliant and to raise standards within the lifting industry. These requirements are directly related to the design, manufacture, testing, supply, hire, inspection, maintenance, periodic examination, the use of lifting equipment and compliance, which is all part of the condition of LEEA membership. So the reason we have LEEA audits and visits are to ensure that member companies are compliant with the relevant regulations which are applicable to their scope of work being carried out at that given time. Now, without going into specifics, companies are required as part of our process to comply with current legislation and best practice in the following areas. And without giving you an exhaustive list, I'll just highlight main pickup points from my own experiences. So do you have an organisational structure that identifies your key personnel? And are they trained in line with your scope of work? Members are required to demonstrate that they maintain training records for their employees and that they are practically and theoretically competent. And if you're using a subcontractor, how are you verifying that subcontractor's organisation's competencies? Do you have the correct reference material in place, either on hand or through your technical department? LEEA codes of practice, standards, LEEA guidance documents, etc. And are we sharing this information with your employees? Now, modern legislation places emphasis on manufacturers' information and instructions for safe use. Do we hold this information? For many products, there's national, European and international standards. Members will need to refer to these documents from time to time and must hold or have ready access to those standards covering the normal scope of work. Ready access means also being able to log on to the LEEA members area and being able to navigate to the library and the frequently asked questions. This is where I must call out for us all to go back to basics, ladies and gentlemen. You will be surprised at how many of our members don't know how to obtain the said reference material. You should also hold copies of current legislation applicable to your country from which you operate, together with approved codes of practice and guidance documents. What test and verification equipment do you hold? Test beds, test weights, load links, verniers, etc. How do you verify these? And do you have a current in-date calibration certificate to show that your equipment is being calibrated to the correct standard? You report a thorough examination. Okay, so this is a legal document. Therefore, does it comply by containing all the relevant information? We know it is information to be contained in a report of thorough examination, and there are 11 main points. Don't deviate from the 11 main points. And remember, it's a legal document and it must comply. If you're manufacturing or assembling lifting equipment, does your certificate of conformance contain all the information required? Are you compiling a certificate of conformance? You'd be surprised at those that don't when assembling slings. What I don't want to see is a report of thorough examination if you're assembling a chain or wire rope sling. But what I do want to see is a certificate of conformance. Please remember from previous, back to basics. Who holds or has the ability to compile your technical file before your equipment is placed on the market or produced upon request? We need to check that your technical file contains all the relevant information, reference to standards, certificates of test, design calculations, design drawings, certificates of conformity and incorporation, manufacturer's instructions, etc. Your factored goods is when you buy goods in and sell on. Are you receiving and issuing the correct documentation? And please take note that it is and always will be LEEA's stance that you should issue the original certificate of conformance along with instructions for safe use when selling on. Remember from previous, back to basics. Do you hire equipment out? If so, show me your documentation trail. Apart from a report of their examination, what else do you issue? Then taking a tour of your work areas from your goods inwards area. That is where your documentation trail should begin, all the way through to your goods out. Moving on to your examination facilities. Is it clean and tidy? Do you have suitable work area segregation to avoid confusion in identifying items? Is your quarantine area marked up? Is it clean and tidy? Are you using it correctly? And last but not least, please always remember that not only myself, but my work colleagues have a common goal at LEEA, in that we are always here to help you as a member company to be better, doing what it says on the packet in raising standards. Thank you so much everyone for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all in the not too distant future. Once again, thank you.